they're not that expensive. I've got this Samson thingy on a microphone stand with a pop filter and all that cool shit. Wasn't that much. Maybe you want one, Nick?
Yeah.
Once you have one, it like kind of lives in your house. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't. It's
Probably
You
sounds.
want to hear my cat better then?
well, it's better than like knowing that your cat's there and having it be shitty sounding, I guess.
All right.
All right, welcome to the Practical Pistol Show. My name's Ben Steger. We're here to answer your shooting questions. Today, we got all hands on deck. Tim Herron.
Hey, what's up?
Nick Antola.
Hey guys.
Matt Hopkins.
Hi.
Tim Myers is listening in. It is unlikely that he's going to provide any commentary.
Never does.
That's just how he does it. All right, guys. Since we all attended Nationals recently, I got an interesting email about the flavor of Nationals, kind of comparing production Nationals this year to the combined handgun Nationals format in St. George. So that's what we're going to talk about. So the email asks us to compare and contrast the Paso Park production Nationals versus the handgun Nationals in St. George, which Tim Herron, I understand you didn't attend, but maybe
No,
you could tell us what
my
you
first Nationals.
No, you shot single stack Nationals, dumbass.
Well, yeah, I shoot single stack Nationals, but it's always at PASA. So
Or are you implying that single stack's not a real Nationals?
no. It's definitely a real Nationals.
Well, it's less stages.
Yeah, it's 14 stages instead of the 20 we shot this weekend. So
14? I can see how they do that in one day then. Okay.
that's why. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so St. George versus Paso. Hopkins, I'm sure you've got some opinions on this because you've been to both ranges more than once, yes?
Yeah. One thing I liked about both of them, they provided water for you. I think that's a huge thing, and people overlook it, but if they didn't provide water, how much worse would the match be when you had to lug around a cooler all day?
I know. Can you imagine having to lug around a cooler all day?
Man, dude, it would have been so bad. It was so
It would have
hot.
sucked ass.
You would have had to sit on top of the golf cart. It would have been
I would have had to put a cool. Oh wait, we did lug around a cooler all day, didn't we? For people who are confused, what I'm referencing, Matt Hopkins and I were lucky enough to be. We were provided a complimentary golf cart by the match director. He's like, "Here's this golf cart."
Dude, you're going to get him in trouble now.
No, that's not true. Okay, we did get a complimentary golf cart. Hopkins had to pay like $6,000 for it. I don't know. It was expensive. Whatever. Okay, so you like that both of them provide water.
Yeah, that's a huge benefit, I think, that...
Well, this is hard-hitting stuff, Hopkins.
It's game changing.
Wow, I don't know what to say then.
All right, we got a Yantola. If it was a golfing tournament, would they provide water? Would that just be expected?
I don't know, man. I've never played golf at a similar level, so I have no idea. But I agree with the water thing definitely. I still carry around a cooler, but
I personally
a lot lighter
feel
than it
like,
would be otherwise.
I feel like water should be a given.
Yeah, I agree.
Like
Yeah,
they're
but
just
2
gonna
years
have it.
ago it wasn't. It wasn't a given. It wasn't ever
What was
provided.
2 years ago? Tulsa?
2013.
Well, that was cold as shit, though.
I'm just saying it's not always been provided, and to see matches doing it is a very good thing now.
All right, I'm
Indifferent, we know.
not indifferent. I just feel like the water's a given. Like it should be.
It should be, yeah, and it's gladly received also.
Okay. Antola, you shot both. What do you think?
So I'll start with the positives. I thought I know it's kind of cliche, but I really enjoyed the stages. Probably at
Well,
least
what's
as much
cliche
this
about
year.
that?
Well, everyone says the stages were great, whatever, blah blah. Okay, I'm not just saying that. Like they were a really good mix of stages. You got short courses, long courses, fixed time standards, even the dark house, whatever. I mean, it was. Yeah, I thought it tested a wide array of skills, shot difficulties, within pretty much the entire gamut of what we have to do was something similar to there, but there wasn't anything super gimmicky either. The dark house I was kind of worried about, look at the diagram, but it turned out that everyone got their walkthrough there, so it wasn't a big deal. I thought it was a good shooting test.
I would say this year though there was maybe a little bit less. It was light on moving targets, if anything. If I'm gonna point anything that it didn't have a lot of, I would say it didn't have a lot of moving targets. I didn't really care, but I
think to compare that to the Nationals in Utah they were light on long range targets. So they were light on long range targets in Utah. They used kind of light on activating targets.
Yes, I think that's fair to say. Tim, what do you think of PASA? I know you haven't been to St. George, but you like the range?
I do like PASA. The fact, the single stack Nationals or single stack Classic has been there for 20 years or something like that. I mean, there's a lot of history there. PASA Park also used to host the Nationals back in the 90s. I mean, that was like the mecca of, national competition of all kinds of different disciplines, back then. So, I mean, it's cool. I like it. It made it easy for me as far as coming from single stack Nationals and then traveling back to PASA to shoot production Nationals. The thing, I kind of knew what to expect, how things were going to go. The only difference for me was like the whole relay thing. At single stack Nationals, you shoot the whole match in one day. So like having 5 different relays over 2 different days was kind of
this was a big change. Hopkins, what did you think of the relay system where it was like some guys shot it like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, some Saturday, Sunday, some Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Is that right?
Yeah.
Did anybody shoot it Thursday, Friday only?
I
think there was a relay to
Thursday and then Thursday, Friday.
Yeah. So what did you think of that?
I didn't like it actually. I thought it took away from the Nationals appeal. I like the half-day format where it's drawn out over several days.
Yeah, we had to shoot.
Trying to cram everything into one solid day. I didn't like that aspect of it.
On the B squad, we had to shoot all day Saturday, which was a long fucking day.
It was a long day. I prefer not to do that if I had my choice, but we really weren't given the choice.
Oh. Yeah, Antola. So having some people shoot finish Friday and they're they peace out, they're gone. Did you like that element of the?
Well, I think you should have the super squads all on the same schedule. Obviously,
the super squad was on the same schedule as us.
Yeah, that's true. So I think that's important. If they want to vary the schedule, it's fine. I mean, as long as everyone that's super squad kind of people are on the same schedule, that's fine. I also do prefer the half days formats. I'm probably out of shape or whatever, but yeah, I'm running out of gas pretty hard Saturday.
Dude, it was like, what was the temperature like there? It was hot as balls.
It was pretty hot. I mean, it was.
And at least it was humid too.
Oh, good, yeah. I mean, it was hot and humid. I mean, weather's weather, obviously, but when I have my choice now, I spread out over, probably the maximum number of days. And I thought one thing I did last year was I felt like I got better throughout the entire week. Like last year, my worst day was the first, and then I think I got better every single day.
Oh, because it was 4 days last year.
Yeah, I guess, and I don't know if that's because the downtime are becoming more just acclimated to the environment there or whatever. But this year it was started off okay, finished up pretty rough Saturday, and then it was just get as much rest as you possibly can because you're still going to be tired first thing in the morning, but obviously you got to go. So it was pretty brutal schedule-wise. Everyone's dealing with the same thing, but it was pretty rough shooting the entire match in a day and a half, I thought.
Yeah, it was Saturday was a tough day. Actually, because of scheduling, Hopkins and I both, along with, pretty much half of the top production guys at the Production Nationals shot Area 3, but shot it in one day. And that was hot as nuts, too. And normally I would not shoot that match in one day. But I would say it's like, well, if I shoot that in one day, then that's one more day of training that I get to do. And oh, man, just the scheduling crunch here really sucked. Whatever.
I would like to see it later in the year also. like if I could put something down as a bad thing, having it in the middle of August or beginning of August is probably not my ideal situation.
I would agree with that.
Put it in October or late September.
I'm kind of to me, coming from other sports too, like national championships is always like, the year kind of builds up to a national championship at the end of the season.
Nationals
so
is
weird to have,
guys. Nationals is at the end of the year in September.
well, yeah, limited
Nationals,
open.
Right, for the
Right.
divisions people care about, but production was in the summer.
Well, hell, single stack nationals is in May. I mean, there's some people across the country who don't even get their guns out to shoot until April or May.
Ben
You know what I
said
mean?
the
That
divisions
kinda
people care
sucks.
about.
No, I think that's
Sorry.
So
No, I think
revolvers in January now. Is that what they're?
No, I feel like
Just delete
the
it.
single stack scheduling legacy. It's a holdover from the single stack classic being
Right.
traditionally held that time of the year.
Yeah.
It's not. Nobody's trying to shit on single stack.
No, and I get that. I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, man, I wish it had its own national at the end of the year. Like, I that kind of production too. I mean, you guys shot in years past always been kind of integrated with handgun nationals, and now it's like, you're going to August, and then 2 months later, then you're going to have the handgun nationals. So I'd like to see
I
it
think
later,
it
too.
should be an all-in-one nationals at the end of the year.
It was kind of an event at St. George, wasn't it? Having all
It was
the divisions
definitely
there?
like a event, and people hung around for all the awards and stuff, and there's a lot of people shooting at one time. So I think
That'd be cool.
I like that. I mean, I'm very impressed with Utah. I'd rather probably go there than anywhere else right now.
Oh man.
What did you guys think about like target difficulty at?
Well, hold
Excellent.
on. We're going to work our way through this, this
sorry.
email. This guy did ask. Well, he didn't ask it that way. He said, did the stage designs favor any particular style? So I guess that kind of speaks to target difficulty, doesn't it, Tim?
I think so.
I'm
Definitely
guessing. I'm
Austin
guessing.
Hose Fest.
It was
It was definitely not that.
Hey, Hopkins and I were both traveling to the range at the same time, and then I got a message from somebody who's like, "It's a total hose fest," and I was like,
Oh my
I was
god.
thinking like, "Fuck me, like that sucks." Like I'm not really into just having a hoser match. And then we rolled up to the range and looked at the stages, and I was like, "Was this guy smoking crack? What the fuck is he talking about?" It was a tough. It was a pretty tough match, I would say. Was that fair, Tim?
Absolutely, I would agree.
You don't need to feel bad because you thought it was tough.
No, I mean it was single stack nationals. I've told quite a few people. To me, it was like single stack nationals times 20. I mean, like you go to single stack, and there's always those types of target arrays. There's almost a no shoot on at least each array. And this one was like, dude, there might be an array of 4 targets, and 3 of the 4 have no shoots plastered on them. I mean, it was
Actually, one criticism.
it was tough.
One criticism that was leveled at this match, and me not having shot single stack, I don't really know, but guys like, well, they're just recycling the same stages.
No, they didn't. There were 4 stages that were recycled, but they're going to also cycle in. They did the same thing last year at Handgun Nationals, and they do that obviously based on stages that will become classifiers or things like that. But there was nothing similar about single stack nationals to production nationals in that regard. At least I didn't think so at all.
And you would say this was much harder than single stack?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I would love to see the field courses. I would love to see field courses like that at single stack. That would be awesome. To have 32 round field courses would be spectacular.
Well, that's too much shooting, though.
I don't think so.
No one carries 4 of those mags around. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
2 rounds makes a big difference.
I think I mentioned to Matt at the match too. Guys had kind of joked before. It was like, oh, they're going to go to the chair sitting nationals. Man, I renamed that shit the no shoot nationals. That match had a metric fuck ton of no shoots on everything. But I liked it because you had to aim. So it was tough, definitely.
Yeah, but it definitely helped out. Let me put it this way: the guys who were really quick didn't really gain a whole lot for being fast.
Yes.
Because it was more came down to like hitting stuff. That's pretty important. Nick, did you enjoy the difficulty level of?
Yeah, I did.
Nationals?
Yeah, I did. I like I said, I think it was a really good, varied shooting test with shots probably tending toward harder than average. I would say compared to other major matches. So, yeah, I thought the stages were really good. It's probably that's my favorite part of the match. I mean, the entire experience.
That's the part that mattered. Well,
yeah.
You got to be on the B squad, which is a big promotion.
It was pretty cool. Yeah, it was awesome.
The B squad.
What are you talking about, dude? Well, typically, let me explain this to you, Tim, because you obviously don't know. At Nationals, they put all the best shooters together in a squad. That's called the Super Squad.
You don't say.
The guys who aren't good enough for that squad are put in another squad, the B Squad, which is the squad we were on. Which is a good squad to be on. Because I was hanging out with all my friends. We had Gaston, we had Hopkins.
That Mexican guy?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I'll make him crazy. Don't do that. Nick was there. Saul Luda was there. It was like, man, we're on the fun squad. This is like the clown car squad.
I do have to say, I was the squad. I guess I don't know. I wouldn't even say the C squad, but I was on the squad directly behind you guys in the Super Squad, and it was neat to see the difference in just pressure. Put on. Like you guys versus the pressure put on the Super Squad.
I know, way less pressure for us.
Well, I wouldn't say way less pressure, but yeah, you just saw 27 TV cameras and shit all set up, and it takes you an hour before you even get to do your walkthrough. And I mean, it was like, oh my god, this is a goddamn circus.
That's usually not the camera's fault. That's because one of us are lagging behind.
Yeah, we didn't. It was actually nice to shoot a match not on the Super Squad for a change because there was no TV bullshit, and when you finish a stage, a lot of times, Hopkins, you know what I'm talking about. When we were in Utah, you finish a stage and turn around and there's a camera right in your face, how'd the stage go? And it's like, I don't want to talk too soon. I feel like it went okay, but let's go score this bitch before I start running my mouth. But no, that was this year was nice. It was relaxed. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. You can't even control yourself right now, can you?
He's still mad because you're calling it the B squad.
It was the B squad, man.
There's probably some kind of statistical way you can prove whether it's a B squad or not. It probably was.
Dude, here you want to know how I statistically can prove we were on the B squad? Ready for it? Where were the TV cameras? Exactly.
They didn't really have TV cameras. Shooting USA wasn't there, right?
Well, I guess.
We were getting time split with Paul Highland's live shots crew. He's hanging out with us sometimes, and then the other squad sometimes.
All right. Speaking of live shots, I propose two things. Number one, USPSA should hire that dude full time and have him cover more matches.
Yes.
But make him put that shit on YouTube and fuck his shitty site. That's what I propose.
That second part of the
That's
idea is
a good
the best idea we've had.
I think
so
both
far.
those are really good, actually.
They're both great ideas.
I think so. Yeah.
He's I'm not. Never mind. Go ahead.
Well, no, go ahead.
No, do it. Come on.
No, okay.
He's trying to go after somebody because they copied his videos and put them on YouTube.
Hey, you know what? He's not wrong.
I know.
They're his videos, and somebody sniped his videos and put them on YouTube. And
I can tell you which ones I watched, though.
What? The ones that were on YouTube?
They're way easier, dude.
No, yeah, YouTube is just better. That's why I say, let's hire him full time. People can have the live shots match coverage. And we got to fix that website situation because that website sucks. So fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question from the email: 20 versus 28 stages. I guess the real question, the core of this, is how many stages is enough for a nationals? What
should it be?
What, Hopkins?
Or how many should it be?
Yeah, 20. Well, it was 28 last year. This year was 20. What did you think?
I personally could care either way. I think 20, 21 around there needs to be the minimum.
20?
Over 3 shooting segments, you know? You can't really get that many more shooters in a 20-stage match if you did half-day formats.
Yeah.
So if you were going to increase the number of shooters to like a 4-day format or 4 segment, you'd have to go to 28 or 4 little sections.
Okay. Nick, what did you think about the stage number?
I'll
You
say
agree
this.
with it?
I've actually changed my mind about this in the past year. So, like going into last year, I was kind of irritated that it was 4 days, and I was like, I'm gonna have to take a whole week off and all this stuff, and watch should any match be more than 2 days and everything. But after now having the experience of that last year and then this year, I think it probably should run longer, and I definitely agree that 20 is kind of the minimum.
Yeah.
I would say is a good number. Probably, yeah.
How many
20 at
would you
least.
say is too many?
Well, anything north of 30, I think is probably getting a little slightly pointless. I think it has to be enough to where you have like enough time to really let people's scores settle out. Like if you have too few stages, one little mistake somewhere is just going to impact your score to an unnecessarily massive degree. So I think you have to have enough match points out there to kind of tamp down that choppiness that can occur from just killing a stage or just making a mistake of some sort.
Another thing with that is you need enough to test all the skills.
Right.
If you have 16, you can't test everything like this year's Nationals did. I don't think there's anything they didn't test except for low ports and prone maybe.
Yeah, funky positions were really the only thing missing from this match, and I don't necessarily think
not
that's
that any of us missed them.
Yeah.
Like I said, I wasn't personally like disappointed they didn't have.
I was
any
like,
super
what? No low ports. What the hell?
I wouldn't have mind seeing a low port. Those windows had me on my tiptoes all weekend.
You should be used to that by now, though.
Oh, I do. I am.
Oh my God.
And that's to get right up in those. They did seem to have an exceptionally large number of those low targets, like right at your feet through the port.
Yeah, they like those. I think that's
do with that range or what?
I think that's a stage design trick. So by putting a close range target right up, like through a window or around a wall or something, you can force somebody into that position.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the trick.
Why they're doing it? You think? Yeah.
I could almost guarantee it.
All right. Well, they always had the target tucked in like tight around the back wall, so you had to go all the way to the front, regardless.
Yeah.
They always had that.
Yes.
So I assume that target was there to make you have to run the entire area.
Okay. Yeah, let's move on to the next topic the guy put in the email, which is the professionalism of the awards ceremony. So for people who didn't attend any of these matches, this year was on the range in the clubhouse, the air-conditioned clubhouse, which was kind of nice. Was there any food there, guys? I don't remember there being food.
Not by the time the awards were going on, I don't think.
No, so no food or nothing like that, and it was once they got rolling, I think it took maybe 15 minutes, and it was done.
Yeah. It was like the world's shortest awards ceremony.
In St. George, it was a separate venue. I think like finger food, that sort of stuff was there.
Yeah,
Correct
and then
me
they
if
had a
I'm
bar
wrong,
you could buy drinks and stuff like that at.
Yeah, you could. They had a bar set up, and then since it was off-site, it was held at night, and people went and changed clothes and stuff, and it was kind of a little more of an event. Which format did you prefer, Yantola?
I got to say that to me, this is the single biggest difference that really stands out between last year and this year. And I do got to say I prefer the St. George format there. So last year, of course, the match finishes in the afternoon session. The awards thing doesn't even start until probably 3 hours later. So we go home, clean up, go eat dinner, and then we head over to this hotel.
What?
That's right, man. We go in there. You got this massive ballroom with like 1,000 people in it. You got white tablecloths, bar. You got this photo area up front. You got a big, platform where the president's talking, all this stuff. It really was a nice event. And this year, it really, it was kind of the same kind of experience you have at a club match or a level 2 match. So whatever, not a club match. Level 2. You know, it's at St. George. You knew you were at a special event. This one was just kind of like, okay, here's who won stuff, and it was more like a level 2 match, I guess.
Hopkins, I'm going to go ahead and assume you agree with every word of that.
I'll totally agree with all that. How boring that is, but
I could say that for me, I thought I didn't give a fuck. Like, I appreciated the brevity of the awards ceremony this year. The one exception, the one thing I felt I didn't really like was I made a push to get the Czech team over, so we had a bunch of really good foreign shooters there. And then they're kind of sitting there during the awards ceremony, and they didn't like complain about it or anything. But I'm just like, man, this is like these guys flew over here from Europe for this shit, and I'm like, they're sure they're expecting more because those guys have been in some big matches.
So compare that with like, so I never shot a match in Europe, but what they do with
okay,
like
at any IPSC match, the awards is a way bigger deal. Shooting a provincial championship in Canada, it had a separate banquet.
Okay.
With like a banquet ticket and like in a ballroom that they rented.
Right. Okay. So for a national championship, I'm not gonna lie, that's my expectation. Okay.
Well, what I'm getting at is, I think that was their expectation too.
Yeah.
I would assume so.
Right. So that is my one. That is my biggest gripe about the match. If I had to pick one thing, that was it. That I wish could have been better, or that I hope is improved for next year.
Okay. Tim, you didn't stay for awards.
No, I didn't stay for awards. I had to shoot and scoot. I had to get home. But I would have, I would like to see, and granted, I've never been to Handgun Nationals or any other production nationals either, but I mean, coming from a prior sport where awards banquet was a big deal. So, and it was always a banquet hall and a dinner and dinner tickets and drinks and all kinds of cool stuff. So, I mean, you're shooting the national championship. There should be, to me, a national caliber award ceremony.
Well, it was national caliber for USPSA.
Well, okay, here's the one other thing. When you talk about a combined nationals, one thing that may play in as a factor is like at this match, it's one division, you got maybe 370 shooters there, something like that. When you got combined, how many people were in St. George last year? Probably close to 1,000 shooters, I bet.
Yeah, tons of them.
So if they're using, like, say, a percentage of the entry fee, they have a lot more money to work with at a combined national.
Well, the problem with the way they had it set up, there were only 3 different squads shooting it on Sunday. So, like, half the match had already shot it and was done by Friday.
That's true. Right. Yeah, so you got a lot of people that have bailed by then.
Yeah, exactly. They don't make it where people want to stick around.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point.
Well, I guess we will see how it gets reformatted next year, if at all. My suspicion, I wouldn't think that it'll really change, but who knows? Okay,
so,
what? Go ahead.
I had heard, like, I don't know if it's accurate or not, but someone had told me that they had signed like a 2-year contract with this range for.
Yes, it'll be same place, same time next year.
Okay, and it's same standalone production by itself.
Carry optics, baby.
Oh, yeah, they'll probably throw carry optics in.
Okay.
It's hard to take it seriously.
So, like, the 8 people that are likely to shoot carry optics will be there.
Dude, no, hey, Tim, how many people shoot revolver nationals when it's paired up with single stack?
When it's paired with single stack, it like doubled.
It's also a separate.
It's a separate
time frame.
Right. It's shot on the Sunday after single stack nationals is completely over on Saturday, but it more than doubled the number of participants.
It's like 100. It's more than 100 people, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, really? So it's run back to back, though. Like, you don't have to pick between single stack and revolver. You can shoot both if you want to.
Right. It's back to back. Yeah. Most guys will bring a 1911 to shoot single stack and then bring their revolver and revolver rig 2 to shoot revolver nationals on Sunday.
All right. So, I'm assuming that's the only way to get more than about 25 people to shoot revolver.
Probably so.
More than 25.
It has worked. I mean, in the last 3 years now they've done that. It's been a resounding success for revolver. to actually have it as a back
Golfer.
delay.
Oh my God. All right. Next question is there any difference in scoring or stats that impacted competitors? So what this guy's kind of getting at, St. George obviously is run on practice score, and PASA is paper scoring. Hopkins, any difference that impacted you as a competitor?
The only difference I saw was I actually had to go to the stat check because a wrong score got entered.
You talking
And
about
that did not.
your
Yeah, I had too
Five
many
no
no-shoots
shoots.
on one stage.
Too many no shoots. What did I say?
No problem racking those up by myself.
Yeah, exactly. I shoot enough no shoots on my own, guys. Like, we'll give me extra. But other than that, no difference, Hopkins. Yeah.
No, I mean, no. Everybody knows paper versus practice score.
Well,
Everybody
no,
has their own
but
opinion.
did it affect you as a competitor?
No. Well, I had to carry around those stupid labels.
Yeah, those are kind of a pain in the ass. I didn't lose mine.
Surprisingly.
That is-
Wow, man,
All the
right
way
there,
through.
that's a
dude.
resounding
All the way
success
through.
right there. Ben didn't lose his labels.
dude, I'm telling you, I'm the worst.
And they didn't give him 2 sets like Area 3 did.
Nick, any difference that impacted you as a competitor?
No. We had to wait a little while after the last shot was fired. I guess maybe wouldn't have been as long as practice score. I don't know, but nothing really bad. I mean, they had my scores right from the start, so no real complaints.
Yeah, it didn't affect me as a competitor. Like, to have it on paper, I didn't give a shit. Basically, stats dudes
Yeah,
do
it
it
was,
how they want to do it. I don't
It
really
was
care.
fine. I did get a kick out of looking at Hopkins' scores on Saturday night, though. It's like, why is he so far down? And I'm looking through there, like 5 no shoots on one stage.
Like, that seems like
I-
a suspiciously high number,
Yeah.
sir.
It's like I don't remember that. And
I
I'm
don't-
standing right there.
Yeah. I feel like I'd have heard the crying if that is really.
Like I'm 99% sure that's incorrect, but I'm sure it'll get fixed. So, no big deal. The scoring I thought was fine. Yeah.
All right, good. Excellent Nationals wrap up, you goons. You guys have anything you want to add to that, or should we move on to some shooting questions?
I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, all right. Fuck that dumb shit. All right, so these are Nationals-related shooting questions. So, on tight partials and headshots, which, as an aside, I'll say, they had a shitload of these at Nationals. A shitload. All right. I took a little bit more time to clean up my sight picture to try and shoot more A's. This left me off the pace and still didn't guarantee the A's. This made me wind up with a lower hit factor. No, this is not the same thing as taking time to get the hits. I could have shot the pace and not wound up with misses or no-shoots. Is there any time you would accept B's and C's in order to save yourself time? Still trying to shoot A's, of course, but knowing you'll likely wind up a few points down. Hopkins, you're the probably the guy to kick this to start with, yes?
Yeah, I read it beforehand, so.
Smart man.
The only thing I can say on that is you can't pick your pace up during a match. You can only make it go slower. And I don't think that helps in the general sense at all. So what I guess I'm trying to say is aim for the A's, and yeah, a few Bravos and Charlies will get dropped in there, especially with how tight these targets were, where you had to aim at headshots on probably several targets per stage on some of them, and that's pretty uncommon.
Yeah, not at that match. It was like
No,
every
it's
damn stage.
normal.
All right, Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, for me, it's just kind of extremely situationally dependent. Obviously, I will say my primary goal with the target presentations was to not shoot them into the lower no shoot, because
My primary goal is
Okay,
to not hit
so,
the
like,
no-shoots.
right. I mean, I know it sounds obvious, but look, if you drop a shot low there, you get a mic no shoot. I mean, your stage is wrecked
Dude,
beyond any kind of recognition, right?
your match is fucked pretty hard, too.
Yeah, pretty much your whole
Tell me
match. So
about it.
unless I'm really confident, really confident that I can hit that lower A zone. Yeah, I'm shooting at a good number of heads. there was a few targets where I was definitely shooting at the center of brown, and I'm just going to eat the C's or whatever because I'm not going to spend the time it takes to try to aim at either one of these A zones. So I had a couple targets like that. I didn't do any, super amount of math beforehand. Maybe I should, but there's a couple targets I can think of where I was just like center of brown. I'll take the C's, and then other than that, it was either lower or upper A zone, depending on how much would I judge the risk to be of dropping a shot into the no shoot.
All right, Timmy.
What I saw, and you can actually look at the results and see too, there was a pretty large disparity between guys that shot for speed, at the sake of points versus people that shot points, for the sake of speed. Just based on those stage runs, I mean, you can see, got top 20 on every single stage. There's a good 2 to 3 seconds of disparity between them, where somebody might have shot, let's say, X stage at 21 seconds, and somebody else might have shot the stage in 24 seconds, and there's a 3-second spread, but there's also 15 to 18 match points, or not match points, but target points, stage points as well. Just in who aimed a little harder, maybe took the time to gain a few more points versus just somebody else who may have just like saw brown, put 2 rounds in it, and move. And it was neat to see that even though somebody might have been 3 seconds off that speed pace, they were still top 5 or so on that stage as far as stage performance based on just getting the damn hits, gaining as many points as you possibly could on the stage. So it was neat to see. I think it was like stage 9 for me was that way. I think I had a 20th place on that. I was like 3 or 4 seconds off your guys' pace, but I shot 158 out of 160 stage points on that. I dropped one Charlie, but it was neat. Like I don't know, Max and Nils and those guys were like 22 or 23 seconds, but they were like 131 or 132 match points.
Stage 1 or stage 9?
Points. Yeah. Was it everywhere? Whatever they had the windows.
Yeah, so you can. There's
on that one.
There's several stage plans there that people are running that would change the time and the points significantly.
But it was that was kind of neat though to see that there was guys that are like, well, okay, a couple disappearing targets, we'll skip those to save some time. And at the end of the day, the guy that shot a lot of points still did just as good, even if he was 2 or 3 seconds off of that speed pace. So I liked that. I mean, it was kind of going back to kind of what I learned watching Ben shoot Area 3 was shoot points, bitches. I mean, although I got a little greedy. Like Nick was mentioning, I got a little greedy trying to shoot that low A and ended up cutting the perf a couple of times on no shoots throughout the weekend, and that hurt me. That hurt me a lot. So.
Yeah. I will say what Nick said, which is this is extremely situational dependent, but I'll get into some detail on this. So I think I've read, Nick, you talking about shooting plate racks, and you're like, every yard matters. There's a big difference between a 10-yard time and a 12-yard time.
There is for me.
Every yard matters. And I look at partial targets the same way. Every yard matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like a 3-yard head box, better be going for alphas. I mean, it's actually pretty easy to get the alphas on the head if you aim. 5-yard head box, you got to be pretty careful. You got to go, like, you've got to dial in to get the A's. 7-yard head box, you really have to work at it to get the A's. 10-yard head box, it's really tough to get the A's. Right? Like, every fucking yard matters.
Basically, you're saying instead of 10 to 12 yards, put 2 fucking holes in the brown and move on.
Well, no, because if there's 6, 8 head box, well, I don't think there was 8 head boxes on these stages, but there was some stages where there was like 3 or 4 of them.
Amount. Absolutely.
Yeah, like those Bravos start to chew you up pretty hard, and then there's so many different partial target arrangements where there's varying amounts of A zone. Like if you have the top third of the A zone, that's a lot.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
and that was a lot at this match. I mean,
there wasn't a whole lot of this top third of the A zones either. There was like a top
there was
10% of the A zone.
There was some like I think they have like 10% of the lower A zone showing as a joke, more or less. So what I'm saying is there's so many different combinations of partial targets at so many different ranges. There's a lot of experimenting you have to do.
Sure.
Yeah, and basically number one priority, like Hopkins said, or well, this is also what Nick said. I really don't want to hit the no shoot. Yes, I'm with you there. Don't do that. That's bad. That's real bad. Try not to do that. But then get as many points as you can, and accepting Charlie's. There was a lot of places in this match where you had to do that. Like, it kills me to say that you're going to get some Charlies. You had to do it. What the fuck are you going to do?
Yeah.
A lot of these presentations, and when I was practicing this based on the diagrams, I was just assuming that they were going to leave about, like, a third of the lower A zone available.
You're like, yeah, they'll leave enough A zone that I can hit it.
Yeah.
Why would you not?
That was so wrong.
No,
so
they
wrong.
had the A zone there was a cruel joke.
Yeah. So, it was. So a lot of targets, my thinking then becomes, okay, a mic off the head is just a mic. A mic off the lower A zone is also a no shoot. So which of those am I gonna go for? So I shot at probably more heads in this match than any other match that I've ever shot by far.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to influence my training and practice for the rest of the year. That's for damn sure. As far as shooting that many partials and training on that many partials and aiming even harder than I thought I was before, which is good.
Yeah,
But
you're like,
holy shit.
Man, I thought I was so good.
Yeah, exactly.
Every match is like that shit. All right, guys. Anything else to say about shooting these dumbass partial targets? We wrap this up. All right, let's go. If you want to talk to Hopkins, go to hopkinsshooting.com. Nick is just on Facebook, and Tim Herron is also on Facebook. If you want to send a shooting question to us, head over to bensteger.com. Email it to me, please. Some dumbass actually emailed one to the Pro Shop, shopping at Bensteger Pro Shop. Don't email me there.
Tim's answer was pretty good.
No, Tim just hits the forward button and sends it to me. He's like, yeah, some dumbass sent this to me. Yeah, so email it to me directly. It's bensteger@gmail.com, and we'll get your question on the show, assuming it's not totally crazy. So thank you very much for listening, folks.